Hi, I'm Jay with Classic Kitchens, etc. And today we are touring our latest kitchen remodel, so let me show you around. And might as well start here, since we're here in the middle of the kitchen. We have an island here. Now this used to be a peninsula. Cabinets went around this way, peninsula came out this way. They have a little nook area here, and we decided that all doesn't work good. So we blew out the peninsula. We designed in this island, has some seating on the back end. Now it has a totally open space around. It's really easy, as you can see, to move around. You couldn't even do this before. You couldn't even walk where I'm walking right now. You have a nice flow around the island, you know, where if you're at the stove and you're cooking, you're preparing food, you have the sink right here, and if somebody wants to come by and get the fridge, they're not gonna intrude in your space where you're trying to work. That's pretty important when you're designing a kitchen. You know, you want people to get to the fridge without going through your path. So let's talk about this back wall of cabinets here. We have a 36-inch hood over a 36-inch range. Now 36-inch ranges are a little more professional than the 30s. They normally have more BTUs, meaning that they're gonna cook hotter. They normally have more big burners, like this one has 5 big burners and 1 small burner. So that's a lot. So you always wanna look at the total BTUs output for the range. That's how you would compare your ranges. It just depends on how you cook and how many big burners you need. And how fancy you want to get with the kitchen, because obviously a 36 is going to be more expensive, but it's going to look fancier. So one of the challenges when you're designing your kitchen, and this was a challenge for us too, designing this kitchen, is they didn't have a vented hood system before, so meaning the hood didn't vent to the outside of the house. Super important, you know, if you're cooking with any kind of smells or greases, which is pretty much all cooking, right? Unless you're just steaming vegetables, I guess. You want to try to vent it to the outside of your house best you can, and we had to kind of play with this space because there's a wall. The end of the house is like right here, and then there's a roof that comes down here. So we wanted to obviously vent this to the outside, but we had to fit it underneath the eave of the house. And then we wanted to, you know, have this as centered as we can in this space. So, you know, it takes a little playing around, but we got it. It ended up turning out really nice. And now we're able to vent it to the outside of the house. And with hoods, you know, I always think 750 is a lot. 650, 750 is a lot. You know, 400 or anything less than 4 to me feels a little underpowered. Again, it's up to you and your personal preference. I have a lot of folks that want to do 1,000, you know, which to me is like, whoa, that's a lot. I think this one is 650 or 750 or something like that. So, well, with 6 speeds, that was cool. So the nice part about having this vent to the outside, instead of having to go up, you can see we have a vaulted ceiling here. Instead of having to go up, you know, all the way, or go in the wall and chase it up and then try to run through one of the rafters or something like that. You know, we got lucky the outside of the house is right behind here. So that's nice. But even if you have to do that, you know, tear out part of your ceiling or do something to get the ductwork to the outside of the house, I think that's worth it. Like I said, to get the smell and the heat out of the space. The other cool thing about the way this setup is that this cabinet remained totally free and clear. Normally, you know, I gotta go up and then you have ductwork in there, and I'm sure you've seen it before, where you have ductwork up inside something that is cabinetry, and then now it takes up the whole center part of the cabinetry. Doesn't look pretty when you open it up, and it takes room inside. So this is kind of nice that we were able to keep this cabinet completely open on the top. That was really cool. Let's talk about design. So we have Vitoria White. This is an Arizona tile product. I love Arizona tile. They're my favorite, and the people that work there, I love them. You know who you are. Vitoria White is a really nice white. It's got like mostly white, but with a little gray undertones to it. And then the veining in it is nice too. It's got golds, it's got browns, it's got grays, it's got a lot going on, but it's subtle. You know, you stand back and you see the veining, you notice the veining, and when you get up close, I mean, it has really good marbly looking qualities. But it's not overpowering, you know, with huge thick veins everywhere, which sometimes look really cool too if you know, if you're going for that look. But I just really like this one. Now it's not called Victoria, it's called Vitoria without the C. It's always confused me, but Arizona tile, if they're in your neighborhood, I would recommend them for sure. So that's the countertop. So kind of a white base countertop on top of the white shaker cabinets. You know, when you have white shaker cabinets, this is from Canyon Creek. That's a manufacturer that I love as well. They're out of Washington State, and they have this shaker style called Carvel. This is their standard white paint, which I like. It's not a bright white, it's an off-white. It looks a little richer, I think, than the bright white. Bright whites can tend to look a little plasticky, you know, which doesn't look as expensive. You know, expensive maybe is not the word I'm looking for. Elegant, maybe. Yes, is the word I'm looking for. So I like the off-white better than I like a bright white. Now, you do have a choice when you go with a cabinet that has a shaker style, or any style actually for the cabinet, and that is the drawer fronts. You know, do you want the drawer fronts to match the doors, or do you want them to be just slab, meaning flat? That's a choice that you have, and you really got to think about the kind of hardware you're using on the cabinets, because it does make an indentation where now you're reaching inside of a little bit of a groove to grab the handle. So you want to make sure you have handles that are pretty deep if you're going to do that type of style. And if you have a slab, then it's gonna accent the handle a lot more, right? Because it's just going to be a flat piece of wood, and so now the handle is going to pop a little more. So it just depends on what you like and what your overall style of the kitchen is. I love these handles. They're in black, and we went with all handles everywhere. So again, that's another option. You could put knobs on the doors or knobs on the drawers if you want to be creative. So 8-inch handles everywhere. So these are normal 12-inch deep cabinets on the uppers. That's, you know, for your normal pans, plates, and cups and things like that, right? Back to design. So where I leave off on, white countertops, right? And then we wanted to have some kind of a pop, because we have white countertops and we have white cabinetry, right? So we wanted to have a little pop of color, so we added this slate kind of bluish gray tile. And these are 3x6s that we did in a herringbone in just the cooktop area, and then we used the larger format, which is a 4x12 for the side, the rest of the perimeter of the kitchen backsplash. Cabinet backsplash is typically 18 to 20 inches off the countertop. So when you're designing your backsplash, you want to think about that. These are 4x12s. That's about the biggest I like to go, you know, so you can have some grout joints and things like that. You know, if you did like a 12x24, yeah, you'd have a lot less grout joints, but you'd only see one joint going across the top. It might look a little funny. You know, with new grouts today, I wouldn't worry so much about grouts. A lot of folks worry about grout. We use an acrylic-based grout, which dries non-porous. You never have to seal it, so that's kind of nice. If you have that grout, which I'm using in showers and floors and everywhere, right? So you're still gonna get dirt in the grout. You know, if you cook here with grease, you're gonna get grease on here. It's gonna get in the grout. It's gonna get on the grout. Being that it's not I love the phrase being that it's not porous, cementatious grout, it's not gonna get in the grout. It's just gonna be on top of the grout. So it's gonna be way easier to clean. And then your outlets, your switches and your outlets that are on your splash. A lot of folks worry a lot about that, but I'm sure you probably didn't even really notice it until I just pointed it out. I typically don't worry too much about matching the plates, matching the outlets, unless it really stands out like a sore thumb. But typically it fits in with the space. And a lot of folks will design the strip it has a light strip and the power bar where you plug everything up into the cabinets so that you don't have any plugs on the backsplash, which is a cool idea in theory, but practicality, what I've seen happen is that you have your appliances here and then your cords go up into the cabinetry, in the bottom of the cabinetry, right? Because the bar is on the bottom of the cabinets. So then you have like this cord that you see come up behind your appliance. I like this style better because then you can actually block the outlet with the appliance, which is kind of cool. We have a sink on the island. It has a little bit extra plumbing and venting that has to happen when you have an island sink, because you know you can't just vent straight up into a wall. There are no walls, right? And in this case, I mean, it really has a really cool centerpiece, you know, because now it's like your entertainment center, which we'll show you, is behind you. So now you're doing dishes, whatnot, you can have the TV on, it's right in front of you. If people are sitting here, you could be working here, and you know the sink is right in the middle of the kitchen. We have the dishwasher on the right, and we have trash and recycle on the left. You know me about having trash and recycle close to where you're working. So again, you got the cooktop, I keep saying cooktop, range, and the trash, sink, trash, fridge, trash. This is a beautiful spot for the trash and recycle. It's so centrally located for the space. On the side of the range, we have a microwave. This is a convection microwave, very cool, by Wolf. So it's got a door opening versus the drawer. It's got all your numbers here, really easy to see. It isn't self-trimming, so this one is a little bit tough to install, I can just tell, because you have to make your cuts around it like perfect. So again, it fits the space, next to the oven. It looks awesome. We still were able to fit in a 4 bank of drawers. I love 4 banks of drawers. You know why? Tin foil, saran wrap, plastic baggies, all fits in a 4 bank very nicely. So always try to design a 4 bank somewhere in your kitchen if you can. Now, to the right of the kitchen space, we had this nook space. We added a wall here because there was a depth change. There was a peninsula here, and then there was a desk here with a pantry here. We wanted some separation between the kitchen space and this nook area space. So we added in this wall just as wide as this beam here so that we could have these 2 spaces. Also, it helped to hide the fact that this cabinet is 24 inches deep and this one's only 15 inches deep. So if you can see, this goes back like 8 inches from there. And the reason why we did that is because this wall over here is not a full 24. It's like 16 or something like that. So, or 17, I think, and change. So you couldn't fit a 24 in there. And if you did fit a 24, then you'd have to cut it off on the end. It would be a design nightmare. So what we did is just said, let's make it equal to the shortest wall. And then, I don't know why I went so close when I did that, equal to the shortest wall. And then, yeah, equal to the shortest wall. I don't know what more do you want? I mean, look at it, it looks beautiful. All right, so that gave us 15-inch deep cabinets, 14-inch on the interior. We went uppers and lowers to be the same. Now you would have had an option here, or we did have an option here to design a full length, floor to ceiling, cabinets, pantry, whatever you want to call it, storage, But we wanted to go with the countertop, put some lights underneath it, make it cool. Also, part of this nook area space was the inclusion of a new door. So this was an old wood slider, it's falling apart. So we put in a new vinyl slider from Milgard. I love Milgard. I love their door open mechanism. That's open and that's lock. Very cool. Of course, it's all Title 24 rated. So I don't know if you have that in other states, but California, we have Title 24, which is basically energy efficiency, So vinyl passes, no problem. They're very, very energy efficient. Obviously, you gotta have dual pane, you gotta have gas packed, low E glass, all that good stuff. So this all has all that stuff. And the other thing I like about a nice door like a Milgard, like an Anderson, something like that, look at the ease of how nice the sliding mechanism is on these doors. And then it has some kind of a deal here too. It has some kind of a lock situation, like an extra lock for the door. The kitchen is an L shape around the island, right? So you have the island here and you have the range wall over there, and then you have this wall here with a doorway that goes through to a formal dining room. And then we did a pantry on the side of it, and this pantry, I love pantries with rollouts, right? So you gotta have your rollouts when you have your pantry, because especially if you're 24 inches deep, it's gonna give you all that useful space. So we have upper cabinets here, regular 12-inch deep, again, good for plates and bowls and cups and all that good stuff. Backsplash continues here, countertop, same countertop continues. It's the same space as the kitchen, right? So you're gonna have the same design. I like to put the switch array at the end of the kitchen, so when you're coming into the kitchen space, you turn everything on and off. For the island, we added some extra design elements, extra door panels on the side here, have a little more furniture-y look, versus you can see this panel. I don't know if you can see this panel right here, but this is just flat, doesn't have a door panel. This one is shaker style, so it looks like a door, right? And we did those same door panels on the front of the island as well. And then I upgraded the molding around the bottom of the island to, this is called an island base. I really love island bases. You can see the regular toe kick is just a flat piece with a scribe. It's not baseboard because it's not made out of MDF. It's not like, it's actually cabinetry, so it's solid wood, painted to match the cabinets. And I don't like to use it underneath the regular toe kick because you can't see it, right? So you're just wasting your money. But over here where the island, where it's front and center, I really like to add it in there. So that's a design element that I would definitely recommend you add into your island. All right, in this back cabinet, we have more rollouts in here, again, for taller items. And then next to it, we have this extra wide, it's called the pull-out pantry, but it's basically a spice pull-out, And they can come in real thin sizes, like a 3-inch if you want to really hide it in there, you don't have a lot of space. My typical one is a 6-inch in a 9-inch cabinet, and this one is, I think, bigger. I think this is a 12-inch cabinet. Yeah, this is a 12-inch cabinet with a 8-inch insert. So you can see it's extra wide. You have multiple layers of spices, so this is really nice. And these are nice. These are from Rev-A-Shelf. They're all soft close, and they're meant to be built right in the cabinetry. So you would order this cabinet with just a door, and then you would build it in after the fact. That is the kitchen. Let me show you behind you here is the entertainment center. So let's turn around and check that out. Another part of this project was the entertainment center area. This had, I think, some oak built-ins, ripped all those out, added these white built-ins. They're deeper, I think they're 21 inches deep. And so, we had a glass set up in the center here. This would be for audio equipment, and the glass is so your laser thingies can get through. Just doors on the side. These are full height cabinet doors. There's no rollouts or anything in here, nothing fancy. I mean, the cabinets are fancy, so those are always fancy, but nothing fancy on the inside. Just the shelves, right? And then we did some floating shelves as well. And when we're designing this, we're trying to figure out, do we touch the walls? Do we touch the corners of the wall? Do we not touch the corners of the wall? We ended up leaving a gap, and I'm so glad we left a gap because, leaving a gap on both sides, and then it fits this one too. You can imagine if those went to the wall, it would look a little odd. That's one of the things about having like a 3D program or having a designer that uses 3D programs is nice, because then they can put something in 3D, show it to you, and once you see it in 3D, then you can really know, oh yeah, I like that, or no, I don't like that, right? So that's kind of how we came up with this design, is just playing around with it in our 3D program. Now that I've shown you the entertainment center, let's look at the fireplace. Two more things that we're going to talk about in this great room space is the fireplace and the floor. You can kind of see them both in this shot. Fireplace was, again, 40 years old or something like that. Had an oak mantle, and we just wanted to modernize it a little bit. So we built this new mantle, painted it white, and then added this porcelain tile that looks like marble. This is also from Arizona Tile. I think a lot of these tile companies are doing a really great job with the tile. I mean, this really looks like marble. And then the clients added this fireplace doors to this space. So it's got magnets, opens up. Oh, and then we did the glass and the little log kit inside there, if you can see. It looks pretty cool. And these are pretty cool because they have like a magnet closing mechanism on the door, which is nice. Trimmed out with a black Schluter. Black Schluter is just like a little black piece of metal here. That's how we trimmed out the edge. Lastly is the floor. This is from a company called Texan, T-E, it's not like Texan like howdy partner, T-E-X-A-N, but it's more like T-E-C-S-U-N, Texan. And this one's their waterproof laminate, but they call it a vinyl, because it is basically a luxury vinyl laminated on a waterproof substrate. And it's a floated floor system, so you don't nail it down, you don't glue it down, you click it together and it stays floated over the floor. So you do have to pin it down in the edges, and where it meets an edge like this, it gets a little tricky because you can't put anything on the tile, right? So you have to glue it down to pin it in place, right? Everywhere else, like around the cabinetry, we can do like a shoe molding, a toe kick, a baseboard around the edges. That's how we pin it down on all the other walls. But just right here, we had to do like a glue system because there's no other way to do it. Speaking about the design of it, this one's called Moose Peak. I like it because it has grays and browns and taupes in it. You know, I would stay away from floors that are really, really gray because your floors are such a big space that it's gonna make everything washed out feeling. So I would always recommend to have either brown floors, some kind of an earth tone in the floor, you know, like this has grays in it, which looks fantastic because it's mixed with that brown tone, right? So the brown tone gives it some warmth, the wood grain gives it some warmth, and it doesn't look so cold and sterile. Let's go on to the bathrooms. Guest bathroom space. We did the vanity, mirrors, light fixtures, recentered them, put the sinks now with new cabinetry. The sinks had to get recentered on the middle of the doors here, added a bank of drawers in the middle. It's pretty standard stuff really, but it turned out really cool. I love the mirrors that they picked out. They're kind of floating away from the walls. ProStorm countertops. This is from Arizona Tile as well. It's a quartz countertop, just like the kitchen countertops. Went with a 4-inch backsplash here. And that's, you know, that's the vanity space, right? It's not a whole lot, but it's a really great space from what it used to be. And now we're moving into the tub shower area, which we have this amazing slider door the client provided. These are called, this is like a barn door, right? Or it's also called like an exposed wheel slider, right? I think there's a bunch of names for it. But it's basically, you know, it has the rolling mechanism on the outside that you can see versus having it like a track that covers this. So it's just an exposed slider. One with a taller tub, probably fit me in here. And the floor is wet. And now my butt's wet. No, it's not. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. So this is a nice soaking tub that an actual grown human can get into. And then we have natural stone on the walls because these folks are very fancy. So we didn't go with any like porcelain tile or anything. No, real stone. This is actual white marble. It's called Calicut grease. That's grease, G-R-I-S. And then this marble inside here is a 1x2 stacked, you know, brick pattern mosaic, and it's called Bardiglio. A niche here on the back wall. I like to put my niches away from the shower head and away from the viewing when you first walk in. So I know a lot of folks like to put the niches right here, which looks amazing when the niches are empty, right? But once you start putting all your products in there, you know, and you have your pink bottles and your green bottles and all that stuff, then it starts looking not as great. So I like to put it on the side walls, you know, get it out of the way of the view from when you first walk in, right? And then tub filler, you know, shower handle. Okay, Newport brass, very fancy. I told you these folks were fancy. Newport brass fixtures in this bathroom and in the master bathroom. Very high-end plumbing fixture manufacturing company that is, I believe, in Newport Beach, California, which is nice. So yeah, tile it all the way to the ceiling. Looks great, right? Going all the way to the ceiling. I think you must, especially if it's an 8-foot ceiling, you know, why stop it at 7 feet, right? And have to spend extra money on the trim. Just go all the way to the ceiling. So that's what we did here. And it looks fantastic. Now let's go on to the master bathroom. So for the shower, this was actually, the whole bathroom got reconfigured. This used to be, I used to be sitting in the tub right now. And so we ripped out the tub. We said, why do we even need a tub, right? It's 2022 and nobody takes baths anymore, right? That's from the 1800s. So let's have a shower, a nice big shower. Let's put in 2 valves, right? One that controls the shower head and one that controls the hand shower. This hand shower that you turn towards you to slide it up and down. Look at that, wow. And so that has a little shower head on it. It's all fancy. We did a stripe here with some porcelain tile that looks like kind of a slate looking tile. And then porcelain tile that looks like marble, polished so it's easy to clean, right? And we also had this little soffit thing you can see we had to deal with here. You know, the end of the house basically, and the roof actually goes right underneath here. So we had to build part of this soffit in here to hide the roof line. So we made this giant shower. They had like a 3x3 shower before. Now this shower is like 6x4, so it's huge compared to the shower they had. We hid the niche on this pony wall here. We put this little pony wall in. You got a seat here behind you. We added some natural light with a new window. Oh, this used to have a big window right here too. Eliminated all that, patched the stucco on the outside. I think I had a big window right here too. We had some light in here. It's like a window that has, look at that thing. It looks like it has like, you know, vines growing on it or something, you know? Provides the light and it obscures, that's what it does, the vision. And then on top of that, we got a panel here and this door here, which didn't work when we first put it in, and now it does work. Wow. These type of shower doors, you know, this is a frameless shower door. They're never gonna be 100% watertight. So you wanna keep that in mind when you're designing the shower head and the hand shower and stuff, you know, and if you take long showers. Because it just has a sweep on the bottom, a splash guard on the sides and on the bottom. And some folks don't even like them, so they have us take them off, which is even gonna make the situation worse, right? The only real waterproof, not even waterproof, but more watertight shower dooring is the framed type. So you just got to make it as best you can and try to keep it away from the shower head and everything as best you can. This is that a 2x2 porcelain tile. It looks like some kind of a slate marble. And then we ran a 12-inch band going up the wall here. And you can't see it, but we also added a mirrored band on this side of the dam. One nice thing about a 2x2 shower floor is it's the best way to make the slope for the shower floor. You can go up to a 3x3, 4x4 starts to get a little bit hairy. You'd have to install it diagonally is the only way it would work. But anything bigger than a 4x4 is going to be very, very difficult to make the slope of the floor work properly. You know, if you do a shower floor, the last thing you want is for there to be pools of water in the corners or something, you know? So you want to make sure that you can design a shower where you can easily make the slope. So you don't want to make it more challenging for your tile guys by picking, you know, a 12x12 tile or something crazy like that for your shower floor. And for the vanity area, this is about the same size as the original vanity area. We did add the pony wall on the end there. I think they had a pony wall before, but we just increased the size and maybe moved it, you know, an inch or two to create the space we needed for the shower. Dual vanity sink, like most master bathrooms. Oh, and this one has a pretty cool situation here too. This is a laundry basket pull-out. So it has a his and her laundry basket hidden inside the cabinetry. Very cool. 2 mirrors, vanity lights, the Pro Storm countertops, Quartz countertops, 4-inch backsplash, and this is ready for some kind of artwork whenever they're ready. Handles are similar to the kitchen, actually the same exact handles that we use in the kitchen. Instead though, we went with a brushed nickel versus black. We gave each vanity a bank of drawers, so they got, you know, the sink cabinet, bank of drawers, sink cabinet, bank of drawers, and then the center they share the hamper. Last bit of information for the vanity and the shower. All these fixtures, if you like these fixtures, these are from a manufacturer called Fluid. Now talking about this area here, I had double slider wardrobe doors, you know, like a lot of closets do, that separated the closet space from the bathroom space. So what we did is we added a wall in here, or built in part of a wall, and then added this slider door here. So this door is, you know, a nice soft close and soft open pocket door. Has a very cool, look at that. I love the soft close pocket doors, they're so cool. And we used a door that has a mirror framed out in it, and I believe it's on both sides. Yeah, it's on both sides, which is really cool. Let me show you how we reconfigured the toilet area. So this had, the shower was over here, tub was over here, and the toilet area was somehow in this corner. I think it had a corner door on it or a door that went this way. None of that worked anymore. You know, basically you can imagine the shower was here and tub was here, eliminated the tub, built a big shower, reconfigured this space for the water closet, and there you go. You got a totally new bathroom. And that wraps up our latest, I can't even say it's kitchen remodel, it's a whole house remodel. That wraps up our latest whole home remodel. So thanks for coming on the tour with me. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. what's my intro? Good evening, friends. No, that's creepy. Something to think about when you're laying out your kitchen, period. And yeah, I end that terribly. Okay, so, oh, it has a little fan. Yeah, it has a little thing. See? And then you just push it, and we still gotta fit in. We still gotta fit in. Oh, so this beam was here, and then we added this wall. So we had a wall here. We didn't have a wall here. So that was, yeah, just edit out that look that I gave. I'm like, where's that pointing? And that's the entertainment center, and that's the ball game, which is amazing. I really didn't sit in the water. Oh, actually I did. It is wet, yeah, but not bad. It's fine. It just looks like I sat in water or something else happened. Question on the back row. And then let me show you how we and that is all.